What's up, everybody, and welcome into another Big Men on Campus betting breakdown. Today, we're taking a look at the Friday card, get a couple of games to take a look at, take your questions. We are live on YouTube today. As always, daily shows on Patreon every day. Figured I'm a little late here today. I usually do this at 5, so I figured we'll just leave this open to the public, see if people have questions. And we'll get after it. Having a good start to the season in college hoops. 1-1 last night. Um, and yeah, you know, what are you going to do? Can't win and have winning nights every night, but we'll take it. It is what it is. Having a nice season. 6-4 so far. Up a little bit, unit or so. So remember, sticking to just playing each game for a half a unit so far. But I was happy to get a winner last night. New Jersey Institute of Technology team total under. They didn't even come close. Game went exactly like I thought it would. We did have a loser with Maryland's team total. And I'll tell you right now, that was a rough loss, to be real honest. They missed, 10 free throws, I think. I think made 3 threes out of 23. Just kind of brutal. I thought with 6 minutes to go, they were right around 65. I thought, oh, we should score 15 points in 6 minutes, but they didn't. So what are you going to do? But if you want our selections, our content, you can find it every day on Patreon right at the bottom there. Tomorrow, I'm back, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll go over the entire college football card. But let's talk college hoops tonight. Got some shitty news as we are jumping on the air here. Looks like Bryant's best player is out, which I don't know. Listen, this is the same song and dance year after fucking year in college basketball. This bullshit with we're just gonna randomly have a player out for no reason. Look, I don't know. I don't think it'll be a huge loss. They still have a lot of good players, and look, I got a good number. I told all of you guys. Unfortunately, I can't be on here every minute of the day. But I mentioned, Bryant was one that I had an eye on last night. We didn't have a line for it. But again, this will get a lot easier, guys, as far as getting games out. Unfortunately, lines move. There's not a lot I can do about that. I try to get you the best number and try to, make it where everyone can bet. Again, though, if you're someone that only has one book, I don't know what to tell you. You got to get other books. There are many out there. You should not just be betting with one book. And if you can't get in some of the action, I think you got to look elsewhere and get more books. So, all right, let's get into some thoughts here. We'll see what's up with Bryant. But just a couple of thoughts on the rest of these games. Western Kentucky, Minnesota. This game jumps off at 2.5. Jumps off at 6:30. Matter of fact, before we get into other games, let me talk about the other two that I'm on tonight. And again, just going to throw these out there. We did have some movement in these, so we all got the best number. Arkansas State looks good tonight. I was surprised to see this total or this number so high. Arkansas State comes in, they're getting an Illinois team that's kind of a mess right now. Kofi Coburn's out. Curbelo may not play. Trent Frazier may not play. I mean, just without Coburn, that's a huge loss. If Curbelo doesn't play, then I'm really saying to myself, well, what the hell and how does Illinois score? This is definitely a rough spot. And this is a team that, really needs that point guard. He's one of the most important players that they have. Looks like they're going to play tonight. We'll see how much and how important and how integral they are to this team. But without Coburn, that's obviously a huge loss. This is an Arkansas State team, pretty solid. They have a good point guard. They have a couple really good rebounders. And they have a kid in Desi Seals who played at Arkansas, had a couple good seasons there. He comes in and I think can really stabilize this team, give them 20 points a game. I looked at Arkansas State and said, I'd probably make this like 14, 15. Came out at 20. Was quickly bet down. I thought 16 was still a very good number on this game. I feel like anything inside of 12, I'm kind of interested in. So, so that was kind of my thought there. I just thought it was too many points. I also like Baylor. I played their team total. This is just one of those or not their team total, their first half. This is just one of those games where Baylor is in their first game. They're playing an extremely subpar opponent in Incarnate Word. Incarnate Word lost their best player, Keaston Willis. He transferred out. And I look at this and I say to myself, okay, Incarnate Word first game got blown out, lost by 18 to Texas State. a very low-level opponent in their own right. They got absolutely shredded defensively. This kind of screams like 95-50. I think Baylor surely is up by 20 at the half. That's just kind of what they do. And you look at it in the non-conference. I mean, last year they absolutely pulverized bad opponents. You look at they played Arkansas Pine Bluff and were up 55-12 at the half against that group. Played Central Arkansas. Kind of struggled a little bit in that game, but we're up double digits. Played Alcorn State. We're up 69-27 at the half there. Sorry, 59-27 at the half there. So they are a team that generally has taken care of these opponents. I like their offense. I think if you're Baylor, you have to run. You've got Flagler. You've got guys that are going to run up and down. I think their offense has no trouble scoring in this game. So, yeah, I'm going to rock with those. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy here as we get into the first weekend of the season. Slow and steady wins the race. Got 1.5 units in play tonight. And, again, keeping the units low. Just kind of grinding out some profit early on here, getting a feel for college hoops. Non-conference can be kind of a volatile time. You've got a ton of line moves. You got teams that are, playing back-to-backs in tournaments, that kind of shit. So definitely make sure that you are well aware of that as we head in every day to games. Now, as far as tomorrow is concerned, just quickly before I get into some of the other thoughts tonight, I have one that I'm eyeing. So I will probably have this out as soon as I can in the morning. When the line comes out. It's not out yet, but it'll be out tomorrow. All right, let me look at the rest of this card here. If you have any comments or questions, I'm interested. You're welcome to drop a line. As I kind of alluded to on Tuesday, Pittsburgh is a complete mess. This team just doesn't have any scoring. I don't know how else to say it. You got to bless Femi Okudale's heart. Tough player, but he just doesn't have much help on this team. There is not much talent here. They're playing with guys that really shouldn't be seeing the floor. They've had major issues with players leaving this program. They've had injury problems. Obviously, Jamars Burton isn't available. Horton's not available. They've had all sorts of problems. They just don't have a ton of quality players right now. Now they got to head in and play in Morgantown and play mighty West Virginia. And we know Bob Huggins is going to lick his chops at this one. If you look at West Virginia in their first game, really let off the gas pedal. I'd have to imagine he wasn't very happy about that. I don't know where Pittsburgh and how Pittsburgh scores here. I really don't. I mean, this is a team that is going to get a lot of different defensive looks thrown at them. We know West Virginia likes to press. They forced Oakland's point guard, Jalen Moore, into 13 turnovers himself the other night. I've never seen that before. It looks like West Virginia's back to their old tricks. I was surprised to see a team total in the 60s for Pittsburgh. I think it pretty much dropped quickly, though. That line didn't hang for too long. Couple good games tonight. San Diego State BYU will be a good one. Really interested in seeing how Matt Bradley looks for San Diego State. They obviously got off the schneid with a win in their first game out, but this is obviously going to be a much tougher opponent. They beat UC Riverside, who obviously looked very good last night. It's interesting when UC Riverside doesn't shoot, seemingly 80% from three, they struggle to score. UC Riverside's really volatile. Luckily last night they found ways to score because they could make threes. But San Diego State, you're going to get 20 plus out of Matt Bradley, and everyone else just is going to line up behind him. That's kind of how this team goes. You're going to hope that Seco or Pulliam give you something. You're going to get solid performances out of the bigs. But this is Matt Bradley's team, and this is Matt Bradley's show. Tonight, this is going to be a tough atmosphere. BYU is a great, I think one of the best home court advantages in the country. I really like this BYU team, real high on this team long term. I think they have some real depth. I think their two guard is a lot better this year than he was last year. Tijon Lucas is a major advantage over Brandon Averett. And a lot of people will talk about their performance the other night, but we have to remember Cleveland State is probably the favorite in the Horizon League. So, I wouldn't put too much stock into that. Still won it by double digits, held that group to just 59 points. Demoy Hodge, who dropped 40 plus a few times last year, had just 10 points. I thought BYU did a really nice job. And what this shows me is this team knows how to defend. That's exciting because this team has struggled in years past defending the basketball. So I definitely lean Brigham Young here at home. This is a tough little spot. You have to figure um, um, the coach will have something here for them. Mark Pope. So one also thing I like about Pope, he knows what the number is in this game. Okay. Every game he looks to win by as much as possible. He has alluded to the fact that analytics are important to him. His goal is to win by as much as he can every game. So they are always a good spread team to bet on. Thank you, Al. Appreciate that. Yeah, by the way, I had a lot of we had a lot of boxing experts on Twitter last night. Everyone knows that a box I was on. By the way, unless you're man enough to show yourself hitting a bag, I thought it looked pretty damn good comparable to most people. Most people have no fucking earthly idea how to throw a punch. We're getting there. I'm not a professional fighter. I've never claimed to be a professional fighter. I've never claimed to be a street brawler. I've said before, if my life is ever threatened, I'm probably just going to pull a gun out. That's kind of what I do in my own home. So, yeah. Now I'm sure the trolls will take this and, oh, look, he thinks he's tough. But everyone knows that, if anyone's really threatened, they're not going to be fighting people. Look, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great time. And I'm really happy with where I'm at. My trainer is as well. Remember, I'm hitting a bag. Footwork's not the most important thing, but that's something we've really been working on. That video is about a week old. And if you've ever been in a boxing gym, you know that you're just training and getting into the rhythms and stuff. Everything will be just fine. Luckily, we're not fighting professionally. I don't know if anyone's seen some of the people that fight at Rough and Rowdy. It's not the most coordinated individuals. I'm putting a lot into it. We're putting a lot of training, I think both of us, into this. So I'm pretty happy with it. I know everyone's a critic on Twitter. I didn't expect everyone, because people hate me. That's just pretty similar. Now, Jerry could post the same video and he may have some critiques as well, but no one will critique him. And that's just how it is. I know I'm always going to get a lot of negativity. And that's why I don't really post shit, but I'm just proud of that. I thought I looked good hitting the bag. So it is what it is. Remember, that was and I'm not going to make excuses. My hands definitely hurt after a while. When you're not used to hitting the bag so much, your hands start to get sore and stuff. So, yeah, I definitely had some power, and I wasn't throwing them as hard as I can. So, we'll be fine. But thanks for the kind words. All right. If you guys have any questions, you're welcome to ask. I'm just kind of running through some of these. Indiana State, Purdue. I mentioned this game on the BetUS show earlier. I kind of like the over in this game. It's moved up a little bit. I don't really see a situation where Purdue doesn't score effectively. I mean, this offense seems like a smooth-oiled machine right now. I mean, they are just absolutely gargantuan. Zach Edey, Trevion Williams, Caleb First. I mean, there's just incredible size on this team. Indiana State does not have the guns to run with this team as far as some of the bigs they have. I think Edey and Williams eat all night. I think the pace is good here. Purdue should probably go into the 80s again. I think if they can get into the 80s, as long as we can get 65 at Indiana State, and luckily the way they play, their coach comes from Lincoln Memorial, which is a D2 team, very up-tempo. So I think we're going to have some run here. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. So I was willing in the mid-140s to take a little shot here. But as it's moved up, I've kind of soured on it a little bit more. But definitely, I think Purdue has some value tonight, maybe on a team total or something of that nature. What else do we have here? Let me keep kind of rolling down here. North Florida, Grand Canyon. This is an interesting one. I've talked before about North Florida. Their coach, Matt Driscoll, has one of the weirdest approaches to games in the country. His ideal thing is we want to shoot as many threes as possible. That's our goal. Threes are worth more than twos. Now, if there's variance and they don't make shots, they get run out of the gym. And this is a concerning matchup. One thing about Grand Canyon, always very long. That is a very tough atmosphere to go play in. And North Florida games are tough because some nights if they're hitting shots, they can stay in games. But I feel like this is one of those games where I give the upper edge to Grand Canyon. I like their guards this year, a little bit more dynamic on the perimeter. I think it's going to make life real tough for North Florida here. And again, this could be one of the best effort as far as atmospheres in the country. Bit high though. I was hoping for like an 8.5 here, something like that. 12, definitely high. But if North Florida's not making threes, this could get ugly for the Ospreys. Colorado State, Arkansas Pine Bluff. I know some of my colleagues that I work with like the over in this game. You just got to worry about, can Pine Bluff score enough? Colorado State looks to be a top level offense in America. They didn't get much from David Roddy the other night, and they still cruised, put up a ton of points in that game. So they're going to be a great offense. Pine Bluff, I will give them some credit. They always play hard, so you got to hope they can contribute a little bit to the score sheet. Texas Southern St. Mary's really seems like a clash in styles, doesn't it? A SWAC team who likes to play with some tempo has to go over to Moraga and play, super slow St. Mary's. Never an easy matchup, I think, for Texas Southern. And for whatever reason, I'll give them credit. They seemingly schedule this every year. Now, they did play at Oregon the other night. Actually played okay. Only lost by 16. And anytime a SWAC team plays a team like Oregon, you're getting out of there with under a 20-point loss, not the worst thing in the world. Actually, were pretty decent. Just couldn't make their threes, which, that's a norm for teams like Texas Southern. I thought they did a pretty okay job, though. Last year, I actually went into Moraga and hung around. Lost 82-70. Weren't real good defensively, but did enough. We have to remember St. Mary's bringing back a lot of kids. That's kind of what they always do. They're always going to have 4-year guys. But Texas Southern, the problem that they have this year is they're not as dynamic as they were last year. Lose Michael Weathers. Do bring everyone else back, though. I think gun to my head, though, I'd probably lean on Texas Southern. It might be just a little high. And it looks like bettors or sharps agree with me. This one opened 18.5. It's been bet down to 16.5. I felt like that could have been a little high. We have to remember every year, Texas Southern is not, bottom SWAC level bet. They're generally one of the best teams in the SWAC. So they are going to be a little bit better in the betting markets than, let's say, Alabama State or Mississippi Valley or teams like that. Much better than that kind of team. All right. What do you think about Auburn? I was shocked how well they looked on both offense and defense. They might win the SEC. Well, look, pump your brakes a little bit, brother. They played Morehead State, which, look, say what you want. I guess when, Morehead State plays, I guess you give them a little credit. Johnny Broome didn't really do a whole hell of a lot. And look, I think Morehead's a decent team, but let's see better competition. Morehead got out to a really slow start, just couldn't make shots. But yeah, they did a nice job defensively. You've got to hope that's something that improves for them because it hasn't over the years under Bruce Pearl. They've kind of been wanting and willing to run and go up and down, and that's not ideal in college basketball, especially when you're a team like Oregon who, plays in such a tough conference. So, yeah, I mean, I would definitely say that, it's encouraging. Jonai Broome is a really good player, and they only held him to 12 points. So, yeah, I think that's something to look forward to. Do I think they win the SEC? I think they have a shot. I don't think it'll happen, though. Does St. Mary's team total have any value? Well, the only thing that I'm skeptical on those is, they just play such a slow pace. They hit it last year, but they play such a slow pace, man. Regularly they're going to be, the slowest team in America, right up there. Keep in mind, last year, 1.32 points per possession, pretty damn good. They got 20 points out of a kid, though, called Lamit Bachler. He only played in, I think, 6 or 7 games last year. Now, I guess the thought is that he's going to be a good player. He only played 2 minutes the other night, though. So, I don't know. I'm going to guess that probably doesn't happen again. So, I don't know. I'm not running to the window to bet on St. Mary's over team totals, especially at that price. What's up, D from Detroit? Hope you're doing well, brother. CSU team total? Yeah, you're not going to find any argument from me on that. How much longer do you capo at Pitt? Yeah, it doesn't look good, does it? It doesn't look good at all. And that's the problem. If you're just losing, but people are playing hard, so be it. But I don't know. I would feel like if they were to somehow lose, like against Towson or UNC Wilmington, you've got to wonder when he gets the axe. Kids are just leaving this program left and right. They've come a long way, and not in a positive way. They used to be a really good program, but that was with Jamie Dixon. So you can't say the same about Jeff Capel. SMU Oregon. This is interesting, right? So this game reminds me a little bit of that Northern Iowa Vermont game the other night. Just seems like a lot of points. SMU's solid, man. Is Kendrick Davis the best player on the court in this game? Might be. The problem that Oregon's going to have in games like this is they play zone, okay? And if a team can get hot, they'll stay in games. And that's one thing about SMU. Good free throw shooting team. You're getting a lot of points. This is a solid basketball team with good athletes. And they have better three-point shooters than they have had in years past. Zach Newtle is one of the best three-point shooters they'll have there. This is a kid that can just spot up and make shots. They also have Tristan Clark. Bring Michael Weathers over. Bottom Al's back. Weathers' brother's there. Isaiah Jaycee's back. Stefan Todorovic, the big kid from Belgrade. So this is a pretty deep team. A lot of points here given to them. I'll tell you what, I definitely missed on Georgia State this morning. I know Sharp Money was on that. I wish I'd have played it. Villanova, UCLA, this is a total coin flip. I would probably lean on whatever team's getting points, and I think that's kind of the general thought with the betting public here. If you have questions, you're welcome to leave them in the chat. I know there's some added games as well. Maybe I'm just not getting into them here. Hold on, let me pull up my other odds screen here. Bud Nino, big man, is there anything you're excited to see tonight, and what side or total would you take on it? Is there anything exciting? Is there anything I'm excited about? Yeah, a game that I kind of liked that I'm kind of excited to watch. I think it could be a fun game is Lipscomb and Charleston. I was kind of wondering what we'll see out of Lipscomb tonight because I know what Charleston wants to do. They want to run up and down, up and down, up and down. They dropped a ton of points the other night. And I mean, Birmingham Southern put up 98 in regulation against Lipscomb. And what the hell is up with that? Holy shit, man. Birmingham Southern. What the hell is Birmingham Southern? How do you allow Birmingham Southern to put up 98 in regulation? I mean, Christ almighty. Does it look great here if you're Lipscomb? That's pretty rough. So, yeah, I would expect a track meet here. And I'm kind of excited to watch it. I'll be watching it at 7:30. Pat Kelsey wants to play fast. So, and I think, Lipscomb will surely oblige them. So, there's a little free pick for you. So, yeah. All right. Let me go through a few others here. If you have a comment or question, you're welcome to throw it out there. AJN says, excellent show, excellent info. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Thoughts on Kentucky after the Duke game and tonight? Oh, yes. I feel like you asked me that the other night. Look, they'll be fine. I'm not real worried about Kentucky. It's one game. I thought ultimately they didn't play that bad. They'll be okay. Takes time. It's a young team. All right. Oh, shit. Western Kentucky, Minnesota. This one starts in a couple of minutes. I'm not running to lay 2.5 with Western Kentucky. This is one of the worst coached teams in the country. Rick Stansbury sucks. It's that simple. Let me say it again. Rick Stansbury sucks. This team has turnover issues. They miss a lot of free throws. And Minnesota's got some good players, some players that come in from other schools. It'll take some time for Ben Johnson to get things going there as Richard Pitino leaves. But I don't know. I saw a lot of people on Western Kentucky today. Not real interested in that, especially when I saw a 3 and I saw the whole world on West Kentucky and the number dropped. Never great. Wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota win this game. I think Minnesota will struggle in the Big Ten, but I'm not that worried about this game. I didn't play it, just kind of a thought I had. Al Studer says, if outside of Pinson, is LSU good? Yeah, I mean, I think they are. I mean, they played a really wild pace. I mean, they put up 101 the other night against UL Monroe. Wild. I mean, yeah, I think Darius Day's a good player. Eric Gaines a good player. Efton Reed's a good player. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be wanting to step in front of that. I mean, they just beat a team by 62 the other night. And it wasn't like, Trevecca Nazarene or something. It was a D1 team. that in the Sun Belt. I mean, that's pretty wild. 101-39. Keep in mind, UL Monroe, 0.52 points per possession. I mean, that's sad, man. They shot 32% from two. Like, that's almost unheard of against LSU. LSU wants to just run up and down. You should at least be able to run in transition and score 50. Like, that's crazy. That's one of the worst box scores I've ever seen. Like, how do you score 39 in 40 minutes against LSU? I mean, it's not like they exactly D up and like you can run with them. Like, you should be able to just score 40 in transition. Do you have any info on Troy State? I know the team has invested a lot in their basketball program the last couple years. Yeah, pretty decent basketball conference. We were just talking about UL Monroe. They're out of that conference. As far as Troy, looked good the other night. They have a good coach in Scott Cross. Keep in mind, though, they beat Carver 104-42. Keep in mind, Carver College has lost 37 games in a row. I feel like me, Jay Jip 10, Al Studer, Paul Decker, and Bud Nino could probably beat Carver. Carver College is a non-Division I team. They've lost, again, 37 games in a row. So when you beat them 104-42, it's not that impressive. But yeah, I think they're kind of a middling team in the Sun Belt. They have a kid, Desmond Williams, good player. And I like Scott Cross. He was good at Texas Arlington just a couple of years ago. That's a lot. 37 games in a row. It's going to continue tonight too, because they play a Division I team tonight and tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm giving you a little heads up here. And this is a little heads up for everybody. Coppin State, they play tonight, and they played Tuesday night and Wednesday night in Chicago. They got to play tonight against Rider. Then they got to go up to Stores tomorrow and play UConn. Now, UConn dropped 99 the other night on Central Connecticut State. Tomorrow is one of the worst travel spots you will see. I mean, tonight's not real good, to be frank. Tomorrow, I mean, it's pretty fucking bad. And I'll keep saying it. I mean, the fact that Coppin State's athletes have to do shit like this just to be pimped out by their school to get money for pay-for-play games so their university can fund their athletic programs as they wallow in athletic and academic despair. And then at the end of the year, the APR comes and says, oh, well, you know what? Your grades aren't good enough, so you're not going to play in postseason play. Well, yeah, our grades aren't good enough. We have to fucking get pimped out all fucking winter and make money for your school. It's kind of sad that teams have to do this kind of shit. How do you even study? How do you get an education? And then, like I said, at the end of the year, the NCAA says, well, your grades aren't good enough. Well, yeah, but we don't have enough time to get our grades up. Well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to play in postseason, even though we pimped you out for our own gain. Is Chicago State a bit better this year? No. I mean, I guess if you would say, are they the worst team in the country? No, but they're probably the second worst. They probably don't have private tutors that do their shit for them. Right. But they have the most grueling athletic schedule out of any team. It's not like Coppin State, rides in private planes and shit. It's fucked up. So, yeah, I'll be all over fading Coppin State tomorrow. Not really sure that I care whatever the number is. If this number was 40, I'll probably play it. I kind of feel bad. And also keep in mind, Coppin State lost their best player, DeLon Clayton. He transferred to Hartford. So not ideal. Plus, you got to play tonight. I'll be interested to see how they play tonight. If they get blown out tonight, keep in mind, the first two games lost 97-72 to DePaul, who's the worst team in the Big East, and 103-45 to Loyola Chicago, who's not exactly a offensive stalwart. And they have a first-year coach who's 30 years old. So, yeah, not great. Not fucking ideal. All right. What else do we have here? Fordham and Manhattan. I mean, that seems like first to 60 wins, doesn't it? That's tonight at 7 o'clock. Just kind of a quick thought. East Carolina and Canisius. East Carolina should find a way here. I don't think Canisius is very good. I was pretty happy with what I saw out of ECU the other night, albeit against South Carolina State. But ECU is not bad, not a good team either. Don't put money in bad teams. That's pretty much it. Penn getting 8.5 tonight against George Mason. That seemed a bit high. Seems like an overreaction to their big loss the other night to Florida State Seminoles. George Mason is not exactly FSU. It's a lot of points to give to Penn. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much where I'm at. Got a play in motion right now. Got a couple later games that I personally bet. As I said, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. If you want all our content and all of my content, you can get it at patreon.com/BMOC. We're doing a lot of videos. Doing videos every day, doing football, doing all sorts of shit. So this is your home for college hoops content every day. All right. So again, I'll wait a few more minutes here, guys. I'm actually waiting for my food to get here. So I got a couple more minutes here. So I'm willing to chat if you guys have any questions. Bryant hanging tough. They're up 25-23. Nice. Richmond's up 30-27. That looked like a pretty good game as well. By the way, Butler, they play Central Arkansas tonight. Game just tipped off. They have literally no one. I think they have 7 players on the active roster right now. Just not very much depth there in Butler. They never seem to have depth for some reason. By the way, if any of you guys live near West Virginia, you can come to the fight. I'd love to see you. Make sure you say hello. I'll actually be in West Virginia from Wednesday, December 8th, all the way to Saturday, the 11th. I'll actually be in Morgantown on December 8th. We're going to go to UConn and West Virginia. Me and Ryan will be there. So if you're in the area, come say hello. David Wall says, what are you eating during training? I haven't changed my diet from when I've worked out and lost all my weight. I still do intermittent fasting. Pretty much the same meal. I don't eat much different. I don't eat sugar and fried food as it is. The only sugar that I eat is fruit. Thoughts on the Groves brothers transferring to OU? It's a great get for them. Groves is basically Krutwig, so I think Porter will use him in the right aspects. That's just kind of what I think he wants. You need to have a big in that offense, and his offenses plus their defenses are integral to that. And they cruised the other night, 77-59, and Groves was very good, 15-9. All right. Do you think Ohio State covers with the Kyle Young back? I didn't look much into that game. I'm not big into Ohio State, especially early on. I hope you're doing a meetup after the fight. What do you mean? When that night? Well, if I lose, I don't know if I'm going to want to see anybody. But no, I'm actually, like I've said before, I mean, if I could go home Friday night, I would. But we'll be there till Saturday morning, drive home Saturday morning. Best college arena you've ever been to? The Palestra, for sure. Donald Lee says, you look so much healthier. Thank you, Donald. I try. I've lost a lot of weight. Thank you for your kind words, brother. Paul Decker says, you've got to have a bet for UConn, West Virginia. It's a fucking month away, Paul. I mean, Jesus. Am I going to do a meetup? Yeah, we'll probably do something in March, maybe either in Philly or Atlantic City. I'm not sure yet. I've got to move. I've been wanting to move for like a year now. I haven't moved. I've been dragging my feet on this. So once this fight's over, Christmas is over, I'm going to get out of here probably by January 1st. I'm so close with my credit. I've been building it. I never had credit until like a year ago. I've been building it, trying to make sure it's pristine. So we're hoping. All right. But the thing is, I think that the March Madness tournament's in Philly this year. I think there's a region in Philly. So I don't know. We might do something at Philly Live or something. So we'll see. Well, depends how and what I end up doing with where I'm living at the time. But okay, guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a good night. Thanks for jumping on and saying hello. And we'll be back tomorrow morning, Patreon people. We'll be here Saturday, 10 a.m. Are you still trying to move out of the U.S.? Not until like 40, probably. I'm going to give another 8 years or so here. But we'll see. We'll see. I'd like to eventually. Joe Hill says, kiss the ring. Big man, my man. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Kiss the motherfucking ring, motherfuckers. Good one. Good one. Same to you, Jip. Thanks, brother. All right, guys. Catch you later.